We are live, episode 31 of the Quit Eating Animals show. I picked this up out of the trash today, and that's how we're talking about this today. And today we're talking about a elementary lunch menu for May and June of 2023. And I just find it fascinating. You can see some of the menu items behind me here. And what you can see is it's dominated by animals and animal products. And so it's just, we are set up to consume meat and eggs and dairy and cheese is all around us. It's even in our schools. And this is what we're offering our children. And of course, look at the new menu items here behind me on this side right here. New menu item, penne with Alfredo, right? So you got dairy in here, garlic toast, pizza. Let's move this mic. Healthy choice, which I understand Jace told me that it's peanut butter and jelly, but then they also have peanut butter and jelly, turkey and cheese, and sack lunch. We're just dominated by it. And actually, let me pull this up here. Let me show the menu. And let's zoom in. Let's just take a look at each one of these. Top left, pancakes and sausage. Bosco, which I understand is French. It's like cheese or fried cheese. We have ham and cheese, sack lunch, PB&J, hash brown, fruit, milk, and juice, right? Just dominated by animals and animal products. 2, chicken smacker. Bosco, look at actually number 1's hot dog, chili dog, soft taco, churro, waffle, and sausage. The number 1 is always, it seems to be animals and with some sort of dairy. 15, French toast sausage. Look, a new item here. Premium chicken sandwich with pickle, pizza, chicken nuggets. We see cheese quesadilla, chicken nuggets, ham and cheese. Look at meatballs and garlic bread. We have up here number 12, orange chicken with rice. You got a pizza cruncher. Of course these kids are going to pick these animals and animal products. It's all around us. So it's what they're used to. No one's going to pick, let's just see, PB&J. I doubt a lot of people pick PB&J. And I want to bring Jace on here, but he's getting ready for practice. But he'll tell you that that the majority of people, right, pick some sort of meat or animal product. There's no doubt. It's what they're used to. It's what makes sense. It would make sense to me. Growing up, I certainly wouldn't pick any of the other side. You see premium chicken sandwich with pickle. I'm going to eat that. I'm going to eat pizza. I'm going to eat, you give kids choices like this. This is clearly they're going to eat this stuff. So I just found it pretty interesting that it's dominated. It's all around us. It's in our schools. And of course, if these kids are growing up eating this way, their parents eat this way, we're just going to continue to eat this way. So I think we have to start educating people on, what this food and where this food comes from, what we're actually doing. I don't think that we do that enough. I don't think that we teach our children, we teach our kids where the food comes from and the process it takes to get there. Because I almost guarantee if there was a class on this, there was, I'm going to say footage, you call it cartoon footage, however we want to display or teach and educate children. If we show them what Animal Slaughterhouse is, where the 99% of the food that we eat, that you buy in stores, where it comes from, I certainly don't think that these kids will continue to eat this way. I certainly think that they'll question, or a large majority of them will certainly have questions, and over the course of their life, they'll continue to question these things, and I'm gonna almost guarantee it will lead to quit eating animals. I almost guarantee the more that we talk about, the more that we educate, the more that it makes it easier for us, a plant-based option, we will head that direction. We have vegans every single day. There's more and more plant-based options. Now we're looking at lab producing animals. So if you don't harm the animal, we could still have the meat from the animal without harming. Why wouldn't we choose that? So we're getting more options you can find in Wendy's, McDonald's, Burger King, all the fast food places. It's easier than ever to order a plant-based option. Look at Chipotle. You can find a Chipotle everywhere. Guarantee you can fill a huge burrito. I have a video on it. huge burrito with sofritas, all the vegetables, rice, beans, pinto beans, black beans, white rice, brown rice, avocado, add avocado. The huge plant-based burrito. You're going to feel so good after this. Appreciate thumbs up. I don't know how or how to see the comments here or thumbs up, but appreciate you watching, and feel free to comment. You're in episode 31. We're going live. We have 339 subscribers, so appreciate all of you subscribers. We're over 300. Our goal is we're looking for 1,000, and just to reach more and more people to talk about animals and reconnecting ourselves with animals, because it's the right answer. It's actually, we're going to do this. We're headed that direction. Why not be on this side of what we call the animal holocaust? This is what we're living through, and I'll get into that a little bit later, but this is what we're living through. And so I think we're going to look back, and there's actually a great quote from Leonardo da Vinci. I had Trey look it up yesterday, but it talks about we're going to look back upon the way we treated animals and just be disgusted with ourselves of what we were doing. So we certainly want to be on this side of the whole ordeal and continue to educate and continue to share what works for us, because it's doable. There's so many people that think that this isn't doable, like that we need to consume animals to be strong and healthy. Like, we just don't. Then you have people thinking that we're going to just all of a sudden get weak 6-7 years. I mean, we're already 6 years in, but there's people that are super healthy, super strong, and they've been doing this for 17 years, for 35 years, eating no animals, no animal products. What makes it think that we can't do that? And so we're just living proof. We're only 6 years in, so I'd love to sit here and say that I've been doing this all my life, but we haven't. But we're certainly starting. I mean, we started that and we're headed that direction. There's no way that we would ever look back and continue to go backwards. I know there's some people out there that will go backwards, or they're vegan and all of a sudden they introduce fish back into their diet and then they feel incredible. I don't have that story. I don't believe that will be my story. I don't believe that will be the story for any of our family members. I don't know that, but to me, it's not natural to eat animals. I mean, and that's where I go to. I start, and I would much rather be on the side of kindness and doing the right thing to animals, or how I would want to be treated first and foremost. And unless I'm, on a deathbed, or 7 doctors all say that we need to eat animals, or for me to get better, then I'll think about it. But until then, and again, that's not going to happen. There's no way. All the studies, everything that we've researched, everything is pointing in absolutely being healthy and strong, or you can be healthy and strong on a 100% whole food plant-based diet. Just think about the quality of the foods that you're consuming. And I think I went into this a little bit earlier on another live, but CrossFit is what led us to really understand the quality of the foods that we're eating. And I think that that's what ultimately led us to go plant-based and to go vegan, to eliminate all animals, just because of the way we felt. And we started just a little bit at a time, and we started with 30-day challenge for going plant-based, and look at where we ended up. So let's go into some comments here, and I'm just gonna I'll bring this up, and we'll just respond to some comments. And we'll give a little bit of point of view here. And this is where this one came from. So, we'll never be vegan. Thanks for the comedy, though. So the thing is, there's so many people that say that they'll never go vegan. I never thought I would go vegan. I've never met a vegan growing up. At least I didn't know of. But most vegans say that they'll never go vegan, or they would never do that. And I think as soon as you say that, pretty much it's guaranteed that you're gonna go that way. I mean, that's just the way it works. But just from what I see, the future, that never is a very, very long time. And there's no, like, there you have 70, 80 more years, depending on how old Logan you are. You certainly, never is a very long time. So be careful saying never. And you'll meet a lot of vegans, that people that quit eating animals, that certainly said never, that they said never, they would never do this, but yet here they are not eating animals, and they're living well, they're healthy, they're strong, and they're here to tell you that you don't say never say never. Sally Ann, so what is the track played here? So this was the 18,000 cattle burned alive. This was a Johnny Cash Hurt. It was a good song. Pretty sad though. If you hear that story, 18,000 dairy cattle were burned alive because of a machine malfunction. You can certainly look it up. In fact, there's videos of and you can hear the audio of 18,000 cows being burned alive. And it's not fun to watch or hear. It almost looks fake, but it's not. This is real. It's bad. So, but I just shared that article. So Logan found me, love me some lamb. And this is another reason why I go back here and ask a lot of questions. And I think this helps the dialogue, and this helps give perspective of what people are actually saying. And I want people to reflect on what they're saying and what they really love about lamb, right? So what do you actually love about lamb? Logan responds, the taste. Okay, Logan. So what's and I asked if you think the taste, or if it's important to the lamb. And this is where I think a lot of people miss this. We don't take the perspective of the animal when we're consuming them. Like, we don't ever take the perspective of the animal and the process it took to get there. So the moment we can put ourselves in the animal's shoes, and not at the plate, at the point of our plate, but the whole process from a baby, because all animals start as a baby and grow to a certain weight or age until they're slaughtered and then end up on our plate. So let's start thinking about putting ourselves in their perspective, in their shoes. So change your perspective. But Logan didn't do that. He said that no, it wouldn't care if it was. So if it wasn't important to the lamb, or what the lamb's importance, or what the lamb thinks is important, it doesn't matter. Like, I don't think we're born like that. We are certainly not born to not care about others. I mean, if we're babies and we put ourselves in a crib with a bunny rabbit, we're going to play with that bunny rabbit. We're going to care for that bunny rabbit as a baby. We're certainly not going to want to hit that bunny rabbit, or certainly might squeeze too hard as a baby. But as a baby, you certainly don't want to hurt any animal. And because you're not taught that yet. You haven't been, I'm going to say, lied to or marketed to that way. And that sounds familiar. I put that a long time ago on a video of we're marketed to. And look, even lunch menus, it's all around us. It literally, eating animals is all around us. It's normalized, but we're taught this. We certainly would care if this animal was right next to us. So that's my next comment is do you kill them? Because he responds, because I don't want to or need to, all I do is eat them. So I said, do you kill them too? And this is what you'll find. I think you'll find people that will fake this, answer of like, yeah, I'll kill them. They'll look delicious. But actually, given the knife, put in a room, would you actually stab the animal? And I don't know. I mean, what would you feel like? Just put yourself in that position. And I almost guarantee that you are not comfortable, that will make you squeamish. That will make you not hungry. That certainly would not make you that's absurd that people would say that. Now, if in fact my stream quality been automatically lowered because of the internet connection, apologize for this. Here's what happens when your kids are streaming as well. I don't even know how to look up the speed, but hopefully you can hear me. But do you kill them? So put in the room, would you kill the animal? I think the answer is absolutely not. I know I wouldn't. And certainly you start thinking about, man, if I wouldn't kill and be part of the process of bringing that animal and raising that animal and killing that animal, and then butchering that animal and slicing that animal and then cooking that animal and putting it on my plate. Like, if I can't do that and I don't enjoy that process, like, I can't continue to do that. And that's really what I keep going back to. Like, I couldn't kill an animal. There's no way. for me, like, it's just a different perspective to be able to sit in a tree and to shoot an animal that's walking by that's defenseless. I mean, I think that's taught. That's the culture. That's the tradition. That's because your dad hunted. That's because his dad hunted. That's because you're surrounded in an area which markets hunting and markets camo and sporting hunting and guns and boat. Like, we're around this, so it's normal. And then we have a lot of people thinking that we're doing a good thing, that it's deer conservation, that we're helping, and it's backwards to me. The whole concept of killing an animal and thinking that we're doing a good thing or that it's necessary. It's certainly not necessary, but that's a different conversation. So Logan, you haven't got back to me yet, but I don't think that you kill the animals. I don't think you kill lamb, especially lamb. There's actually a great video on this. It was an advertisement, I think in a different country, where they go and said, they want fresh lamb, like, oh, fresh lamb. And then the butcher brings out the actual baby lamb, and the lady's like what? And like, certainly does not think about killing the animal for the freshness, right? We want fresh. You're going to wait the longest possible time before you slaughter that animal. That to me is just, it doesn't make sense. It's not normal. You can't feel good about that. So it can't be natural. All right, Logan. So he says he'll keep hunting. Oh, okay. Logan again about hunting. Don't worry. They die quick. They don't suffer. Here's the thing. How do you know? How do you actually know that you're killing the animal and it's instantly dying? How many videos? You could pull up a lot of other videos. There's no way that the bullet or the arrow pierces the animal right away and they die instantly. Like, they usually run away and you got to track it for miles or thousands of yards or however it works. Sure, you might get a good hit where they take a couple steps, or maybe they go right down. But I mean, if you're a hunter, you can't become that good without making the deer suffer, right? You can't become a one shot perfect kill. To get there, you gotta have failures, and so you gotta make these deer suffer. And so, to me, there's no way 100% of every animal that you killed just didn't suffer. Then, even if that was true, like, you can't go shopping for animals because you don't know if that animal was like. So, come on, like, that's not realistic, and that's where I think people get confused on. Oh, because you hunt and you do these things. And just because if you think it's okay to kill animal in one shot, let's just say that you did. If you went to the store to buy an animal that certainly wasn't killed in that fashion, like, it's certainly not. And so, you could feel good about that. I don't think so. I certainly don't think so. So people don't think about it. That's what happens. So my ask was, what percentage of them 100% die instantly? No, they don't. Then I asked, how many have you killed? Logan S was recent. So this is all recent. This is going by date. But Logan S, he'll eat double the meat to make up for you not eating it. This is a thing. A lot of responses are, I'm going to eat twice as much for saving. And I think it's part of a little comedy and it's part of a little bit humor. And that's where the response comes from. It's that cognitive dissonance. It's that disconnection, that uncomfortable feeling that you get from seeing an ad or video like this that makes you try to feel good about that. And one way to do that is humor. So, eating double. And yeah, Logan certainly made him feel a certain way. All right, let's talk X Nelly. Being bred to be eaten means nothing. It's a circular argument. We can kill those animals because we bred them to be killed. What? I think X Nelly is confused. My whole point here was dogs were not bred to be eaten, right? But in some cultures, they are bred to be eaten. So in our culture, cows, pigs, chickens, turkeys are all bred to be slaughtered and eaten and then sold. And then, so yeah, it's kind of weird that we breed animals into existence only to slaughter them and kill them for food when entirely it's not necessary. Spastic yakas, they taste pretty good. So I'm going back with, is that the reason that you continue to eat them? What you'll find is a very, very common reason to continue to eat animals is the taste. When you understand that you can get the same taste from eating plants, it's all about the flavoring. It's all about how you prepare it and what combination of plants that you have together. It's an explosive amount of taste, of spices and sauces, of a whole new array of vegetables that you're not familiar with, that you're unfamiliar with, that you probably haven't eaten. You probably haven't had lentils recently. You probably have never had tofu. I know I haven't. I hadn't had tofu in, say, over 20 years. Like, it took me over 20 years, 30 years to have tofu. I mean, that's incredible. That's incredible. And now have it a lot because I know how good it is, how good it makes me feel, how you can prepare it and you get better at it. And so tofu is a hidden gem for those of you listening. If you continue to eat animals and try some tofu, put some tofu in there and you're going to be super happy. I can guarantee it. All right, let's keep going. Rageaholic Billy. I don't think I will because a lot of I end with quit eating animals. I don't think I will. Why not? Why not? You are in the majority. Not many people, and I don't expect a lot of people to quit eating animals. I really don't. No expectations. But the more that you learn, I'm certainly going to encourage. The more that you learn, the more that you put the work in to find out the truth. You're gonna figure it out. You're gonna figure it out. Keep listening. Ian Beckett. Nah, mate. I'll keep eating all of them. I damn well please. People get mad. Of course you will. Until you truly learn and reconnect with the animals you eat. Kimmy Dree, cute boy, cute. All right. B1, Black Wolf? Let's see here. So here's the thing. Not everyone, let me pull this up a little further. Where'd it go? Okay, there he is. All right, so here's the thing. Not everyone can survive on a vegan diet. False. Not everyone can survive on an omnivore diet. What? False. Not everyone can survive on a carnivore diet. False. Carnivores can survive on a carnivore diet. I don't understand. There are a lot of different people on this planet with a lot of different cultures. Yes, of course there are. Culture certainly does not dictate what what the right thing to eat is. Cultures just dictate what we eat. It's just habit. It's tradition. It's passed on to us. That misinformation is passed on from generation to generation, right? And this becomes culture. Then it becomes tradition. So it's part of our culture. It's part of our tradition. It certainly doesn't need to be. So just because we're different cultures, that's certainly we have this one thing in common. We all have this one thing in common, right? That we all can suffer. That we all can suffer and feel pain. We have that all in common across all cultures. We show emotion. So no matter what culture, no matter what language, we can show this with each other. We can smile, right? We know when someone's happy. We know when someone's sad. We can see this. We can see this with non-human animals as well. And so we shared this in common. So it shouldn't matter what culture, what the traditions are. We certainly should not be contributing to killing animals for food when it's unnecessary. What we should be striving for is better ethical practices when raising animals for food. It doesn't matter the species. So this goes back to how can you ethically or humanely kill an animal that does not want to die? And when I say do not want to die, they certainly run from pain, they don't want to be harmed. We share that in common. We know that they feel pain. They have a central nervous system. They have a brain. They have nerves. They definitely feel pain. That's proven. There's evidence out there. So why would we want to continue to harm them, to kill them for food when it's unnecessary? And it is absolutely unnecessary. Let's keep going. All right. Tell me you're very ignorant about human biology and its diversity without telling me. All right, Black Wolf, I think I just responded to that. So won't need to respond to that. And cows were bred to be eaten. So like, what's your point? So what kinds of cows? So I think dairy cows are bred to be milk, right? And now get this. Here's an important point. Let's talk about the dairy industry. So if my company is a dairy company, I want to breed dairy cows. And dairy cows are either male, well, call it, I'm going to ask a question. Are dairy cows male cows or are dairy cows female cows? Here's the Jeopardy. Dairy cows are female cows. Why? Because female cows produce milk. Male cows do not produce milk. Female cows produce milk, and they only produce milk after or during their pregnancy, which means they have to be pregnant. Now, in an all dairy farm, right, you have all females. Let's say you have, we don't have one male. There's no reason to keep a male on a dairy farm. You have dairy cows, you have female cows. So what they do is they artificially inseminate. So they artificially, and there's videos on it, but they stick their hand deep into the vagina of the cow or the anus, I'd say, of the cow. I'm not sure how that works. That's interesting. I don't know if it's the anus. I'm not sure where they go, but it's certainly from behind, and it's certainly in there. And they put bull semen in there, and they pull it out, and they're pregnant, essentially, or they hope to be pregnant. Then they give birth to their baby. Now that's when they start to produce milk for specifically that baby. So the whole process, that process is to produce milk for that baby, for the baby that was just born. Now in the dairy industry, think about profit, think about wanting to make money. So what they have to do is they have to take that baby away from the mother because they want that mother's milk to be consumed or sold to humans. That's how that works. So the baby gets taken away from the mother right after birth. So now as the mother produces the milk, that milk now can be bottled up and sold for profit for that business. Now, let's just say that baby cow is a male cow. All right. Male cows, again, they're useless to the dairy industry. So if my mother dairy cow just had a boy baby, well, that boy baby isn't useless. Well, not say useless, because I can sell that boy baby for veal, and I could sell that boy baby to somewhere else and to traffic that boy baby, to sell that property, because that's all really animals are. They're labeled as property. So I'm going to sell that property to, let's say, a veal farm. And that veal farm, certainly that fate of that animal is death, and a very quick death, call it. I mean, they kill them, slaughter those animals, veal, weeks old. So not certainly a very good life for that newborn baby male calf. And that just doesn't sound good to me. That doesn't sound like a good process. It certainly doesn't sound good for the animals involved, and think about what the mom feels like. The mom just gave birth to a baby calf. The baby, whether boy or girl, it makes no difference. That connection that mother has with their offspring is, you can't take that away. And I don't even know what that's like, right? But you can ask him. You know, what mothers are watching this. You can ask Ava. I mean, like that connection there. I mean, that's unbelievable. Like there's no connection like that. I think all mothers would share that, no matter whether human or non-human. And I think there's videos out there where you see the baby being taken away. You see these things, and the mother screams out. So these feelings are mutual across different species. So we have to pay attention to that. And so this is the dairy industry. So the dairy industry, we're doing things like this. And for us to continue to contribute to that, to buy ice cream with dairy milk in it, we're contributing to this process. We're contributing to this. And you can call it small farms or local farms. That's just determines where it is, like in location. But the cows are the same. I mean, no matter if they live, over here or far away, I mean, they're still cows. Like, they're still individual cows. Just like there's, people that were born in China. I mean, they're born in China, but they're still humans. They still feel pain. They go through the same things that we do. So we have to start thinking about that. And the dairy industry is easy to think about that way. So cows are bred to be eaten. So I think I got off a little bit off tangent there, but I think that was important. I think that was a good little thought. Let's keep going. Was this a vegan restaurant? This was the Chinese post. No, the Chinese food post. No, that wasn't a vegan restaurant. She's worried about the brown sauce that makes it. The thing is, here's what I would say to that. I certainly think it's good to know. It's also, I think when you're just starting off, this is maybe could be a little overwhelming. I was just concerned. I mean, your main concern is not consuming animals. Now, the sauce, certainly don't want to be consuming sauce, but don't get overwhelmed or too worked up if you don't know about the sauce, or if it did have it in, try to not do that next time. Right now, so don't order that next time. But don't overthink this. Don't overthink the sauce, and don't. I would be hesitant if you found out all the information beforehand. Maybe if you called and asked questions, I think you just do it. And depending on what type of situation you're in, you certainly can do it. You can ask, you can make some changes for that specific restaurant. And I think everyone's going to have their local restaurant. Certainly ask. Certainly good to ask them to provide a vegan version of the sauce or anything. That certainly wouldn't hurt. I think the more that we do this collectively, the more that we'll see change, the more that we'll see it happen faster. So don't be afraid to do that, but also don't get overworked or overwhelmed if that does happen to you. Like, it's not something I thought about, and I'm hesitant to ask, because if I find out it is, it certainly would change things. Just like buying dog food. Once you realize like dog food has animals in it, it certainly makes you question, like, do you want to be contributing to that process of those killing animals just to feed your dog? And when you realize that dogs are omnivores and they can survive and be healthy and strong on a 100% plant-based food with supplements, right? Like, these companies go through the process, and so they say, hey, here's a product that doesn't hurt any animals, that doesn't kill any animals, that has no animals in there, and it's good for your animal, it's good for your dog to eat. Why wouldn't we choose that option? And yes, it's going to be a little bit more expensive option, But, you have to make that choice. Like, you have to feel good about that, right? We're not all perfect, and we certainly allow things into our home that we didn't know about, right? I recently posted the video on the dairy cheese, or the Parmesan cheese in one of the items. And I don't know if it was separated. Maybe it was separate. I could just throw that out, but I think it was expiring anyway. But don't overthink these things. All right. This is one of my favorites. They taste great. Yes, Alberto. Appreciate that. It certainly does. Guys, I think I pissed off the vegan teacher. I got called the vegan teacher, the vegan teacher's son or something. That's awesome. I'd love to have that much reach, just like the vegan teacher. Burnt toast space girlfriend, quite aiding aminals. Respond with almost. All right, egg. Wait until they realize plants are organisms too. They just can't feel themselves dying. Maybe like animals. This goes into plants having feeling yes, they're living, but it's ridiculous for a comment, for an argument to be, right? It's different. Like, for someone to use this as like the reason they eat animals is just absurd. But the fact that this is brought up, it just goes to show how far we are trying to stretch to justify what we're doing to animals. Because you know watching this, whether or not you contribute to this or not. Like, you don't need to share that with anybody, but you know if you continue to do that or not, and why. I mean, you have to answer why, right? And if you haven't answered why, I would challenge you. You should ask yourself why you continue to eat animals, and it will be one of these reasons. Taste is one of those reasons. It will be convenience. Convenience is one of those reasons. It's easy. It's tradition is one of those reasons. It's all around us. These are the reasons that you'll continue to choose to eat animals. But when you realize, and when you really try to question or go into why you eat those animals, does it justify it? And do you feel good about that justification? And I almost guarantee you, none of you will feel good about that justification if you saw footage, if you were there, if you heard these things. And then you have to connect it. Once you connect it, it's all together. Like, there's no way that you'll continue to eat animals. I mean, there's no way. You have to literally block it out of your mind, because it's just so backwards, and it's something nobody wants to be contributing to. That's why we don't watch it. That's why you don't enjoy watching it. You don't enjoy watching the footage of animals dying and being caused pain. Like, you certainly don't. It's not natural. All right. So yeah, egg. Meat tastes better. So look, another reason, taste. Another one, taste. Right? But is taste more important than the animal's life itself? I think that's the real question. Does your taste pleasure, does that 15 minutes of pleasure justify taking that animal's life from that animal who clearly does not want to die, does not want to be there? All right. Do you understand how rapidly deer reproduce? Do you know what happened to deer when the population becomes too high? Tinkle got into me 3 days ago. Seems like commented on a lot of things. Thanks, Tinkle. Or Tink now. Tinkle. Yes, I understand how they rapidly reproduce. My thing is that we have the technology to not have to kill animals anymore. We have the technology to stop reproducing, to just do a different thing, like not just provide tags for humans and sell bullets with guns and weapons that obviously kill each other too. Think about all the weapons and hunting weapons that have killed both humans and non-human animals. Like, think about that. But they call it a sport. They sell bullets and weapons in stores for humans to buy. Then they sell the tags because you got to pay the state and pay these taxes, and everything has to be accounted for. And so you pay tags to be able to, or try to go out and kill these animals. I mean, it's absurd. I mean, it really is. When you think about the principle of it, it's certainly very cruel in a way. There's a movie where a human gets dropped off and, with nothing or with a knife, and then has to go survive. And then, 4 hours later, like, I don't know, call it the bad guys came in and they're literally hunting this guy. They say, hey, we're going to hunt you. We'll give you 4 hours. You run off and try to either kill us back or run away. But then they hunt and they have all these tracking abilities and all this technology. And, it's just not a fair fight. I don't know how the movie plays out. I'm sure that good guy wins. But we all know that in reality, the good guys or the deer never win in this situation, right? It's just maybe get pushed to the next year because they runs out of time for people to shoot the animal. So not a cruel sport at all. I mean, not a good sport at all. Very cruel. All right. Tinknell again. Okay. Here's the interesting one. What % of elite level athletes are vegan? Compare that to the general population. First of all, there's not many vegans out there a lot, like, as we speak, right? Call it less than 10%. I think the number's maybe 5% of the population. I think is somewhere. I think you'll hear 1% of the population. I mean, anywhere, but certainly less than 10%, but not a lot. And think about the chances of being an elite athlete anyway. But I'm just talking, I mean, athletes, right? Good, solid, foundational athletes are certainly can be plant-based. I mean, they're already out there. This was a Kendrick Ferris. He's an Olympic athlete that went vegan. That clip was talking about eliminating the middleman. But if the thought here, Tinknell, is that, oh yeah, there's way more athletes and professional athletes and champions and elite athletes that are animal based. I mean, of course, because that's just the nature of the world that we live in. But as time goes by, as we get more vegans, as people figure this out, right, as the generations grow up, I mean, our kids will pass it on, their kids, right? And so as these generations move on, like, we're not going to continue to eat animals anymore. But right now, like, the majority of all the athlete pool and all the athletes in right now are all traditional, like, meat eaters, right? They were grown up and taught to eat animals and eat their products. So of course they're going to be more, but as time goes by, and that has nothing to do with it. I mean, nothing. So another point, Tinknell, I don't really see, but he talks about, no evidence to support this. I don't know how to get evidence of supporting, Kendrick Ferris is an elite athlete. And if Patrick Bamahan, the world's strongest man, he was in the Game Changers, but you have all of these strong, very strong athletes, that bodybuilders that eat nothing but plants. And so if they can do it, there's no reason why you can't do it. And that goes for all of us. So that has nothing to do with what we consume. All right, Tinknell. Why would I want to quit eating the diet I evolved to eat? All right, so when you say you evolved to eat it, I go back to it's not natural to kill animals, right? It does not make me feel good. I don't want to contribute to that. And so if I don't have to, I'm going to do my darndest. I'm going to try my very best not to. And that means if I have to look at the back to see if some ingredient is in there that contributes to violence and that company contributes to violence of the animals, my money, I don't want to be supporting that. And that's pretty simple to me. And so I'll go out of my way. I'll make it a little bit more difficult for me. I'll learn how to adapt, right? I got to change. I got to adjust. And that's exactly what we've done since we figured out that we don't like contributing to violence and killing of animals. I don't think you do either. But that's something you have to decide. You have to ask yourself. All right, Jack Robertson. Oh, I didn't see this. I didn't see this comment. Look at this. Look at Tinknell. Only a sick sadist or sadistic maybe enjoys killing. I have no problem with the rest because I understand the process and I am immune to vegan propaganda. I don't know why people think this is vegan propaganda. This is just the truth. These are the facts. This isn't propaganda. In fact, this is just what we've been sold to. We've been sold to eat animals. Like we've been sold to. By the way, this was an espresso in this mug, Quit Eating Animals mug. Hey, appreciate you bringing here. This is we're 46 minutes in. Thank you so very much for being here. Comment below with the word shirt if you made it this far, and I'm going to send you one of these shirts. All right, so this will be interesting. It'll be free. There's only going to be a certain amount I'm going to do this for in case this blows up and I get 1 million requests, 1 million frees or shirts. Respond, comment in the comments with the word shirt. And I'll reach out to you and I'll send you one of these Quit Eating Animals shirts. I'll put some reminder bracelets in here. This will be the starter package. All right, so go ahead and drop the comment. Drop the word shirt in the comment. And first person to do that, I'm going to reach out to. We're going to set it up. Let me get you a shirt and some bracelets. We're going to send you a nice package. All right, so for my loyal fan, my first loyal fan that comes across this, because no one's watching now, this isn't live, but during the replay, if you come across this and make it this far in, 47 minutes and 20 seconds in, you're going to get yourself a free shirt, free reminder bracelets. It's going to be awesome. All right, let's keep going. All right, so we talked about no propaganda. Okay, Jack Robinson, no, God gave us animals so we can eat them. I will never stop eating animals. My comment is pretty clear. I think this is a pretty, I'm going to say a solid comment and a solid question to anyone that is talking to you or says that God gave us animals so we can eat them or God provided animals. So my response was, did God give us some animals to enslave and kill? That's different perspective, right? This isn't about eating the animals. Of course, this isn't talking about eating animals, right? We're talking about killing animals. And that's where the difference is. And even Tinknell said it before, only a sadistic enjoys killing. Okay, but to eat that animal, there has to be killing. So who is doing that killing? Are we just leaving it to sadistics to kill all the animals just so we can eat them because we're not comfortable doing that? If you're not comfortable eating or killing the animal theirself, I certainly would challenge you. Does that make you fit to consume that animal? Does that make it proper to consume that animal? The fact that you don't enjoy, that you can't do it, people would not do it. People would not take part of killing the animal, but yet they would take part into consuming that animal. And that to me is backwards. I think for me, you got to be able to, if you can kill the animal, okay, like you can eat the animal. I mean, we could start there. Then I'll get into like why we killed the animal, how you felt, why, who taught that to you, and I think that was taught. I mean, I don't think that's not something that we're born with. And we're not born to want to kill animals. And I think that's the biggest difference. I think that's huge. I think when you can understand that we're not born to want to kill animals, that we're taught these things. We're taught to consume animals. We're marketed to that way. So this is real stuff. If you're getting value out of this, please hit like. Don't forget to subscribe if this is bringing you any value. I hope it is. Look at Aaron Wyatt. I'm going to respond to this real time here. Aaron, real time. Quit being a pussy. I can't believe I get caught. Like, why? I'm just going to respond with why. Why do you say that? All right, the cinder. Let's talk about the cinder. This was to a video. How is this sausage not vegan? It really looks vegan. It looks like a regular sausage. And then so he responds, I'll know the second I bite into it and it doesn't taste like real sausage. I think people are confused with what meat and what the animal flesh actually tastes like, right, by itself. And we don't know because you don't actually taste the animal by itself. You taste with sauce, with spices, with seasoning. You taste the animals with that stuff. Oh, by the way, you taste the same sauces, seasoning, and spices when you put it on tofu. So what's the real difference? Oh, I know. One entails killing and slaughtering, enslaving and harming and causing pain to an animal, and one doesn't. I mean, I'll just stop there. I mean, we don't need to go into the health reasons, even though it is healthier to eat plants. It is not in our best interests from a health perspective, from an environmental perspective, and from the animal's perspective to continue to eat animals. All right. How are we doing on time? Are we over an hour yet? Let me see. 51 minutes. I'm going to try to make it over an hour. See if, I think an hour is solid. An hour is a solid video. All right. All right, Cinder. Let's respond to Cinder. Let's keep going on this with his last comment because I never got back to him. He says, no, because these flavors aren't the only thing I'm after. The nutrients in meat are also a great benefit. I do not want to have to take supplements just to suffer through a vegetarian, vegan lifestyle. This is where I think we have to challenge ourselves. I mean, really, let's just say that it wasn't true that we needed a supplement. But to me, taking a supplement or a pill one time a day, whatever you want to call it, I mean, people do that anyway with medication, right? A lot of people take vitamins and anyway. But okay, so you don't want to suffer through taking a supplement or suffer through a vegetarian and vegan lifestyle. I don't know what we think vegans are suffering through. If you think that we're missing something by not consuming animals, I can promise you there's no vegan, a true vegan, that misses contributing to killing animals, right? We just don't. Now, like here's what I not miss, but this is what I remember. I remember like the bacon smell and waking up and having scrambled eggs and bacon, and like I remembered these things. It was the weekend. It felt good. My family, my dad was up, my mom was up. Like it was the morning. They smelled the coffee, but this was I remember during the holidays or Christmas. this would be a thing that we'd have a big breakfast before we go, but we would build this into, it would be our tradition. This is what we were taught to do. But the fact that we say that we're trying to get our nutrients or we need to get our nutrients and from animals is not true. Like, we don't have to. We can get everything we need from plants. So, but to take a supplement, and we would rather, like, you'd rather contribute to killing animals. Like, I just don't think that that's true. Sorry, Cinder. I think you're lying. Greg Burks. All right, Greg. What did Greg say here? Oh, this is back with quit using soy as a substitute. And then Greg goes into, I asked Greg why, because soy is an estrogenic. It causes testosterone in men to not be effective. It causes increased cell division. So women already had higher estrogen. Then you introduce more and you have more breast cancer, cervical cancer, and little girls developing way early. Also, look it up. Go to the medical site and research it. Soy is used as a substitute because it's cheap and easy to grow and get large yields. So wake up, people. I hate killing, but the industries are jumping on vegan in the name of not killing animals, but really they do it because the profit using soy is real high. So when you read this, do you believe that you were doing it to help or for the profit? Once you realize the truth, then you can see what's really going on. I wouldn't get caught up in this, Greg. We have the tech to make good whole proteins. The protein with only veg protein besides soy is not good, is that vegetables do not have a complete protein. In other words, the amino acid profile is incomplete, therefore your immune system is zapped and the world pathogen is not a good idea. Again, it's all researchable. Just research reputable sites. I think there's tons of videos out there that can destroy this argument on soy. I'm not going to go into it because I'm confident enough in the information. The information's out there, but don't be like, this is where we start getting scared of using plants and thinking that plants are causing more harm to our bodies than eating animals. It's just not true. And again, for me, I'm not going there yet because I'll have to be shown or proven the fact that eating plants is call it less healthy or causing me more problems than if I were to eat animals. And again, I can't go in, like, I can't even get there yet because it's not natural. Like, it, for my mind, let's just say not even physically, but for my mind, it doesn't make sense. Like, it doesn't feel good, like, to even think about my dollars, my hard-earned money going towards industries that put bullets or knives in animals' throats and call it, and get paid for it and get profit. So they use my money. And so that means we're just devaluing animals. I mean, valuing animals as property and literally like per pound. Like it's kind of terrible. I mean, when you really think about, step back, look what's going on, look what our money is going towards, and no human, you watching this, you cannot be comfortable. You cannot feel good about contributing to that. And you can argue you get all your meat, you hunt all your own meat, and you instantly kill them, and everything is perfect. But no, you don't. No, 100% of you watching this are not perfect. Right? Whether you eat animals or plants, right? We all make mistakes. We all do. You and I, all of us are not perfect. But I certainly know the animal eaters out there, the people that continue to eat meat, like 100%, like you don't hunt, like everything is not ethical. Like it just can't be. Like, not one. Please give me an example. And it's just, you're just not going to find it. So, Greg Burks, don't be confused. Don't be scared of soy. And if you don't like, just eat something else. But don't be scared. Do animals eat other animals? Guy Predo. Yes. Yes, they do. He says, so aren't we animals ourselves? Yes. Yes, we are. We're different animals, right? You have carnivores, you have lions and tigers that do natural things to kill animals, and they eat animals right there, raw and everything, like claws and big teeth, and boom, they rip the flesh and they eat their anus and their ball. Like it's nasty. It's nasty, like for you and I to think about, but it's natural for them. That's why it's certainly not natural for us. But it's certainly not nasty to think about picking a strawberry and biting into it, right? Or peeling an onion or a grapefruit or a banana. Like, it's not nasty. That feels good. In fact, that tastes good. But if we go and try to eat an animal and kill that animal, that's certainly what you smell. You smell blood and death and then rotting flesh. Like, it's just that's not natural for us. That doesn't feel good. Why are we doing that? So, like, yes, non-human animals, some eat other animals, right? We talked about that. Some eat both, right? No problem eating both. You can eat both, but it's not necessary for some animals. But it is necessary for, say, lions. Lions could not survive, and that's why it's not natural for them, and that's why they don't do it, to eat all plants, right? Or berries or strawberries, right? It's natural in their whole body. They need to. It is instinct for them to kill. It is not instinct for us to kill. We're certainly taught these things, but it's natural for us to pick and eat food that we don't need to kill. I think we're naturally herbivorous animals. Humans are. Yet we have this term omnivores. All right. Are we over an hour yet? We got to be. I definitely hit that. Can I move this? 1 hour and 49 seconds. We made it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for spending 1 hour with me, or in segments, or however you watch this. Hoping you're enjoying this episode. Don't forget to hit like. Don't forget to hit subscribe. Appreciate you watching. And don't forget to comment shirt in the comments to win one of these bad boys. I'll send you one free. First person to do it. All right, let's see. Who else we got? Michael Brosh. Not me eating egg sausage right now. And yeah, I mean, I did for over 30 years. I did. Like, you can too. Ken Neely. The palest people I know are vegan. I think it's the light, man. I don't know. But he said, oh, he got back to me. He said, is this what you care about? He said, I absolutely don't care. Just an observation. Thanks. The palest people I know are vegan. All right. Man behind Winkies. This is a funny one. I've recently learned that more animals are killed in order to protect your precious vegetables than by regular old slaughtering of cows, pigs, etc. All right, man behind Winkies. I like how he put this. Your precious vegetables. As if like everyone doesn't. Even if you eat animals, I'm pretty sure you eat plants and fruits and vegetables as well. Like, so, like, they're not just my precious vegetables. Or all vegans' precious vegetables. And then good old regular slaughtering. So what man behind Winkies, I asked? He's referring to like crop death. More animals. So like pesticides and protecting crops leads to way more animals being killed. I feel like that to me is just, it can't be true. We kill billions of animals. Like we artificially inseminate and breed billions of animals into existence to slaughter. So that means that even more billions of animals, like 90 billion. I think the number is 90 billion. So more billions of animals are naturally produce on their own, like mice and rodents and I think they're incorporating insects into this, and by no means is insects part of this conversation, right? They're not animals. We're not talking insects. But yeah, I mean, if we didn't have to kill them, don't want to. I don't want to kill anything that you certainly don't have to. But they're saying that protecting crops and vegetables and growing is causing more death than breeding animals into existence purposefully only to slaughter them. Like, it just, those numbers can't make sense. And let's just say that is true. Like, does it make more sense? Like, we feed more plants to animals, right? So how does that make any sense? That we would, if we stop breeding animal to existence, we wouldn't have to feed the plants to the animals that we slaughter. So by eating plants, we're actually saving more plants and saving more death. So it's just a backwards thought. It's again a tactic or a justification that people go to kind of say, like, all right, back on you, which is not true. I mean, it's just a deflection to get off of you and back on them, or back on you, however you want to look at it. Plants want to kill you. Like, these are some of the comments we get here. Sharon, thanks, Sharon. But I'm gonna respond like realistically. I'm gonna say, what do you mean, right? Give me some more information here. Michael Jofat bugging. Plants, not bugs, my man. Not what we're talking about. POV, me eating meat. That's a start. What's next? Couldn't you just have thrown out the cheese? I think I talked through that. I'll test it on my dog. He says boxer. So we got a boxer too. Our boxer, again, is on 100% plant-based diet. Just strong too. All right. I am bored 678. I was vegan almost 10 years. Quitting was the best thing ever. I said, thanks for sharing. What made you quit eating animals in the first place? See, this is another one. I am bored. If you're watching this, what happened? Because he responds, it's too hard. I'm lazy. It can take a mental toll. I also have had hair loss and nail issues. When I went to the grocery store as a non-vegan for the first time in years, it felt so freeing. Know I could buy anything I wanted. My additional response 3 days ago was, I hear you. What made you go vegan in the first place? No response. This is proving that we're getting to the root of the problem here. We can't talk about, like, it took a mental toll. It's too hard. I'm lazy. Like, those are tactics. Those are tactics to make it easier to eat plants. But it certainly doesn't, like, it's not the reason people go vegan. You have to understand the reason people go vegan. I think it all different reasons, but I think people sustain veganism. I would say more people sustain it have an easier time when you connect with the animals. We have to connect with the animals that we're consuming and what's happening to the animals. That's what we need to connect. I can't get into hair loss and nail issues because I don't want to be contributing to animals over the fact of, like, my nails not, like, being long or losing my hair. I would much rather lose my hair than to kill animals. So if that's the trade-off, which is, I'm not saying it is, there's no way you can get all the vitamins, minerals, nutrients you need from plants. So that's just a lack of information, a lack of trying to find where those best sources come from and what's actually causing hair loss or nail issues. It's certainly not the fact that you're just eating plants. You might not be eating a variety of plants. I mean, that could be the issue, but it's not because of, going back to eat. Like, it's not because of your lack of eating animals. Like, that's not the reason. And so once you convince yourself, or you hear another person tell it, and you start telling yourself that, it's just this false thought and this false fact that you're telling yourself that's just not true. So don't fall into that trap. Don't think that you can't do it. Don't think that, but connect with the animals to try to drive that home. And for 10 years, I want to know what what made you go in the first place? And I think when you go in the first place with the animals, like, and you always go back there, not because, oh, you heard it, you watched a movie or something, like that's not impactful. Like, you got to have a better reason. You got to have a good reason, a secure why. All right. No thanks, Karen. Okay. Here we go. Did you know that the vegetarian diet is the only diet that lacks numerous vital vitamins? Being a carnivore, you lack none. Sorry, but science is science. You just got to laugh at things like this because we are certainly not carnivores. Like a lion or a tiger, like we're not. That doesn't make any sense. Like, it's not natural. Like, you don't enjoy killing. You can't eat raw. Flat doesn't make you happy. You can't do it with these nails. Like, you need a weapon. You need a weapon. But a lion and a tiger, bear, like they can do all that with what they have, their God-given talents or tools, the God-given tools, not what we can make or produce in a manufacturing facility. It's ridiculous. I'm over this. All right, let me see. I think we've been going long enough. This has been a great episode. Let me how do we get out of here? All right, let me pop back up here. So, over 1 hour and 10 minutes. Hope you enjoyed this. Let me know if you like this in the comments. This has been fun. I enjoy responding to comments. I enjoy talking about this. I enjoy telling our story because I think it's impactful, and I think it's going to bring you guys a lot of value and to show you that it can be done, give you a different perspective. That's it. Hope it's going to reconnect you back with the animals. Win you some free gear so we can start sporting this message globally across the United States. Make this big, make this huge. All right, but just to recap, I mean, food in schools, we're set up. Eating animals is all around us. I had a whole nother page to this. It was on the front and the back. Oh, it had the breakfast menu. Literally every day, dairy. Nothing. Fruit, dairy. Fruit's not actually fruit. Fruit is there every day. We'll give them that. All right. But foods in our schools are not super healthy. They are not cool. Certainly not what we want to be letting them say. Watch what our students or what our kids consume in this. And then we have to start educating. I think, educate our kids on the process of it. But it starts with you. I mean, certainly not, as a parent, you're certainly not going to teach the process or show the process to our kids because you're not comfortable with it yourself. You certainly aren't comfortable with it. So why would we teach our kids on that? I saw another video where they were like, I don't want to show my kids that, no, but they can eat Happy Meals, but not show them where it comes from or how the animal is produced, to get there. It's just backwards. I think if we did that to kids, if we show them and teach them, it's a whole nother level. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. Look at this. We're on live. We just lost a subscriber. We were at 339 and now we went back to 338. But it is a long journey and we just keep going. All right. So their loss. They're not going to be subscribed to the content, but I still hope you watch. And appreciate you watching. 338 subscribers, episode 31. We're having fun. We're keeping it going. Hope you're enjoying this.
Quit eating animals.
Peace.